We see four men in a restaurant. When they are done eating, they get to a club. One of the four guys named Patrick gets mad because the coupon he wanted to use to pay for a drink is expired. He says that the bartender is an ugly woman and that he wants to stab her to death. The next day, Patrick woke up and he is preparing for the day. He gets to his job and instantly turns on the TV. After work, he is in the car with his fiancée Evelyn, and he is listening to music, but Evelyn is trying to have a conversation with him. She wants to marry him, but Patrick says that he is busy at work. Evelyn says that Patrick's father practically owns the company he works for, so he shouldn't worry about that. They get out of the car and are in a restaurant. Patrick is certain that Evelyn has an affair with his best friend Tim, but he isn't mad because he has an affair with Evelyn's best friend Courtney, so according to him, it balances out. In the night, he gets some cash from an ATM and he starts following a woman. The next day, he is in a dry cleaner and wants some red stains washed out of his bedsheets. The shop employee says that she can't clean the red stains when a woman named Victoria gets in. She has a good bond with the employee, and if Patrick gets on a date with her, she will make sure they will be clean. After this, Patrick is home and he is calling with Courtney, and he asks her to go to a fancy restaurant with him tonight. He calls the restaurant, but the man on the phone laughs because there is no table free on such short notice. Patrick is at another restaurant with Courtney, but lucky for him, she used drugs and is too caught up in that to notice. The next day, he is at a work meeting, and a man named Alan mistakes him for someone named Marcus. Patrick thinks it is fun and pretends to be Marcus. He and all his workmates are obsessed with business cards, and they are trying to figure out who has the best one. Patrick doesn't win the competition and is very mad, but he hides his emotions. In the night, Patrick is walking in an alley and sees a homeless man. Patrick says that he can help him and picks up his bag. The man is very grateful, but instead of money, Patrick takes a knife out of the bag and stabs him. Then we see him getting a massage, and he is thinking that he has all the characteristics of a human being, but he doesn't have emotions except for greed and disgust. He feels lethal and thinks that his mask of sanity will be slipping away soon. Patrick is at a Christmas party and sees Alan again. Alan wants to go to a restaurant with who he thinks is Marcus, and they are eating. Patrick heard something about a big bank account that Alan is handling and wants to know how he got it, but Alan says that he is not allowed to say it. Later, they are at Patrick's home, and all the furniture is covered up. Patrick goes to another room, but continues the conversation. He puts a raincoat on and gets back into the room. Then he turns the radio on and kills Alan with an axe. He is holding a bag with a corpse in it and gets to Alan's apartment. He takes Alan's suitcase and puts some clothes in it. He records a tape and tries to sound just like Alan, and he says that Alan is on a business trip to London. Patrick is in his office when his assistant named Jean says that there is a man here who wants to speak to him. They meet, and the man named Donald says that he is here to investigate the disappearance of Alan. The detective says that Alan left a voicemail that he went to London, but Alan's wife doesn't trust it, so she called the detective. Donald also says that someone saw him in London sitting in a restaurant. Patrick thinks that is weird because he killed him and just said that Alan went to London to cover it up. Patrick gives Donald some basic information about Alan's job and his hobbies, and the detective gets out. In the night, Patrick is driving on the street and sees a hooker. He asks if she wants to come to his apartment, and she says yes. They get to his apartment, and there is another hooker. He tells the hookers to come to his bedroom, and they make love. Next, Patrick is sitting with some colleagues when one of them, named Lewis, shows him his new business card. It is better than Patrick's one, and he is not happy about it. Patrick puts gloves on and follows Lewis to the bathroom. He is about to strangle him when Lewis turns around. Lewis thinks that Patrick is gay. That's why he followed him to the bathroom. Lewis likes the new attention, and he wants to make love to Patrick. Patrick is mad that he couldn't kill him, so he gets out. Detective Donald is in Patrick's office again, and he has some questions for him. Because Patrick didn't have an answer where he was the night Alan disappeared, Donald wants to make a new appointment with him. After this, Patrick is in the club, he seduces a girl, and they go to his apartment together. The next day, he is in his office, and he has some hair of the girl with him, suggesting that he killed her. His assistant gets in, and Patrick asks her for dinner. She wants to go to the finest restaurant in town, so Patrick makes a reservation. They are full tonight, but Patrick still pretends that they have a spot. Before they go to the restaurant, Patrick wants to meet at his place first. They are in his apartment, and he opens the fridge to give her a sorbet. There is a head in the fridge from the woman he killed yesterday. He asks what Jean wants to do with her life, and Jean says that she wants to travel and maybe go back to school. Then he asks if Jean feels fulfilled in her life. Patrick says that while staring into his closet with murder weapons in it. He takes some duct tape out of it, but Jean sees it, so he plays it off and puts it away. Patrick takes a nail gun and walks towards her. He is about to shoot her in the head when the phone rings. It is his fiancée, and Jean gets a little bit jealous. She asks if Patrick wants her to go, and he says yes. He's at a lunch date with Detective Donald, and Donald asks if he already knows where he was the night Alan disappeared. Patrick still doesn't know the answer, but Donald says that he was at a party with some of his friends, so he had an alibi that night. Donald says that Alan probably went crazy or something because to think that one of his friends killed him is too ridiculous. Patrick thinks that that is a strange thing to say but doesn't say anything about it. At night, he goes to the hooker again. She says that it was too rough last time, and she might even get a lawyer. He gives her some money for compensation, and she walks away. Patrick drives behind her and will give her a lot of money if she gets in the car. She wants the money and gets in. This time, they are in Alan's apartment, and there is another girl too. While they are doing some lovemaking, Patrick kills one of the girls. The other girl sees this and runs away from him. We see that the whole house is full of dead bodies, and the girl runs out of the apartment. Patrick doesn't want her to get away and runs after her with a chainsaw. She is running on the staircase, and Patrick throws the chainsaw down and kills her. Patrick is with his fiancée Evelyn in a restaurant, and he says that it is over between them. According to her, that isn't a good idea because her friends are his friends and vice versa. Patrick says that she can have the friends because he doesn't want anything to do with her anymore. She starts to cry and Patrick leaves. In the night, he is near an ATM and he sees a stray cat. He picks it up and the ATM wants him to kill the cat. He takes his gun and is about to shoot at the cat when an old woman sees him. Instead of the cat, Patrick shoots the old woman. A police car is close and instantly puts on the sirens. Patrick runs away, but there are more police cars in front of him. He begins to shoot and the cars blow up. Patrick runs away again and gets to a building and kills the desk employee. He runs away and kills someone else. Patrick is in the middle of the street and doesn't know where he should go. He gets into his work building and takes the elevator. He gets on the phone with his lawyer, Howard, and says that he killed a lot of people. In the morning, he is in his own apartment and pretends that nothing has happened. He is walking in the hallway to the apartment of Alan and puts a mask on for the horrible smell of corpses. When he is inside, he sees that everything is empty and the corpses are gone. A woman comes up to him and says that he needs to go, and he shouldn't make any trouble. Patrick gets out of the house and is very confused. He gets to a phone booth and calls Jean. He wants her help, but he doesn't come out of his words. Jean gets to the office of Patrick and sees an agenda full of drawings of dead people. Patrick gets to a restaurant and sits down with his friends. He sees his lawyer and asks him if he heard the message he left for him. The lawyer thought it was a very funny joke, but Patrick assures him that it wasn't a joke. The lawyer says that the joke is over, and he doesn't find it funny anymore. He also says that Patrick couldn't have killed Alan because he had dinner with him in London 10 days ago. Now Patrick is more confused than ever because Alan is dead for a longer time than that. He gets back to his friend group, and they are watching a politician on the TV. They say that the politician is nice on the outside but twisted on the inside. Patrick starts to laugh, but he doesn't say why. Thank you for watching the movie American Psycho with us. If you liked it, subscribe.